Hey folks, I'm Nate. Thanks for stopping in, and I want to start off first by saying don't be too scared by what's behind me here. We're not going to be getting into that real deep. Just deep enough to let non-songwriters and non-musicians know what songwriters are up against when trying to be original in today's music. And what we have here is the circle of fifths, and I sometimes refer to it as the circle of keys. And when you start into songwriting, you're going to run into this thing. And basically, it's telling you what thousands of years of trial and error have determined to be the acceptable rules of songwriting. And basically, it's telling you that although we have 12 notes in the musical alphabet, they don't all work well together in certain circumstances. Only certain ones of them really sound good together, and that's where this comes in. So here's how this works. We're going to try to be quick here, and going to the title of the video, Ed Sheeran's song Thinking Out Loud and Marvin Gaye's song Let's Get It On are both wonderful songs. But they are entirely different works of art, although they both share a lot of similarities when it comes to the way they're composed, going by the rules of this. And here's how this works, folks, and I'll show you, and then I'll give a couple of examples on the guitar of what I'm talking about here. So anyway, I have up here laid out the key of D, and basically what we have is we have the A through G, your letters, and you have to remember that between B and C and E and F there is no sharp or flat. So no sharp or flat between B, C, E, and F. So when you lay out the notes in your 12 note grid, you know 13 goes back, it's your root note again. It's the octave of the root note. Okay, so same note, you can hear it, you can hear the relationship when you play it, but here we have the, there's no sharp or flat between here or here, just like that. And everywhere else along there, we have a sharp and a flat. So, how this circle of fifths works now with this, if I write a song in the key of D, okay, that's going to be my prime. Number one here is the key D. Okay? Now this is telling me that, notice up here, the fourth and fifth are called perfects, and the octave is also called a perfect. Okay? So, this is telling us if we go around this, it's a fifth. This is a fifth. A is a fifth, perfect fifth from the D. Okay? So if we go backwards, though, it's a fourth. So going backwards from a D, the G is the perfect fourth. Okay? So that is your three main chords you can use in the key of D for a chord progression, and you're using these as the root notes for the chords, okay? And then there's this fourth chord that is telling you that's perfectly acceptable, uses the same exact notes, but it's a minor chord, and it's called the relative minor, and that is the B minor here in the middle. So you can use that, and that's always going to be based off the major sixth here for the relative minor. And this is a chromatic scale, folks. And this is what we're dealing with when we're writing songs. We're dealing with this scale here. And the major scale, all scales are taken off of this one, okay? So all scales, all modes are all born from this. And so basically that's how the circle of fifths works. That is telling you too. So okay, say you want to write in the key of G. So you're going to be playing, your G is the root, your D will be the perfect fifth, not the A, and the G, the C will be the perfect fourth. Okay, so that's how that works. So we're bound by those 4 chords, 3 to 4 chords, to make a song sound good. And those chords will always sound good. Those 4 will always sound good no matter what order you play them in, what kind of, no matter how you put them together, they're going to sound good together, those 4. That works that way all the way around that circle of fifths. If you're playing and your root is F, your fifth is going to be the C, and your perfect fourth will be a B flat. So, okay, that's how that works, and I can show you some examples on the guitar. And yeah, I'll have to grab a guitar for that, so hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, folks, I'm back. The first song we're going to look at here on the guitar is Southern Cross, and that song is written in the key of D, and it strictly sticks to the D, the A, and the G. And we're going to look at the verse section, which starts on A and goes from A to G to D, and every other time goes back to A. So it starts off going A, G, D, A, G, D, A, G, D, A, G, D, A. And that is how the verses are laid out for Southern Cross. And that sticks to that circle of fifths, as does thousands and thousands of songs that you hear. Almost every song you hear are adhering to these rules, okay? So in every key, in each key we write a song in, we have basically 4 chords that are guaranteed to work good together. And then outside those 4 chords, hey, we're skating on thin ice out there. We want people to listen to what we're doing. We got to be careful we get outside those 4. So anyway, that was the verses for Southern Cross. Now let's look at the chorus section of Comfortably Numb, which uses the same exact chords with one another thrown in. And I'll have to get into that later, but we're going to start off with the chorus with that's going from D to A, then D. Here we're at C. G. B. A. D again. A. C. G. C, G. So that's how the choruses work. Throwing a C in there, which if you look is based off the minor 7th of the scale. So that gives it kind of that sad feel, having that minor tonality in there. And okay, so in the verses of Comfortably Numb, they actually utilize the B minor in the key of D. The song starts there, shifts to A, G, and then it throws an E minor in, back to a B sus2 this time. So basically like that for the verses, still utilizing the rules here with the B minor, and he's throwing an E minor in for good measure. And you'll find that that's based off of a major second of the scale. So still works fine. Still just stepping outside those four a little bit, but it works great. For the final example on the guitar, we're going to jump to the key of E. That's going to be utilizing the chords E, A, and B. Now see if you might recognize this. If I was to play those chords in a certain way, say, recognize that, maybe, by chance? By the trogs little thing? But it's still utilizing the three chords, E, A, B, and it's utilizing them in exactly that order. E, A, B, A, E, A, B, A, E, A, B, A, E, A, B. See? That's how it works, folks. It's that easy, and that's the rules we're bound to as a songwriter. As songwriters, as a songwriter, if I want to write a song, I have to follow those rules, use those four chords, and on whatever key I'm playing in, I have to use those four chords, and I'm bound by those rules, as is everyone else that's writing songs, and that is why it is so hard to be original when you're working within basically those rules, and the only thing you can do to change anything is alter the timing and the rhythm. It's all in the rhythmic patterns that you use with those in songwriting. Now, the reason Ed Sheeran got sued is because one of his chord progressions is a little close to the chord progression used in Marvin Gaye's song. And when you see what you're bound by, that is quite understandable. And to end this video, I'm going to say that I feel like lawsuits in the music industry do hamper creativity a lot. But I do feel like there are those instances where people blatantly rip off other people and need to be sued. But the Ed Sheeran case just isn't one of those, folks. Those are two wonderful songs, and they're entirely different. If you listen to the two, you will see. And they're both following these rules, sticking to them strictly. So this is what we have to work with, folks, as songwriters. So remember that. And the next time you see someone get sued, say, sheesh, man, they're working with four chords, you know. You can't hear Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran and mistake it and think, oh, I just heard Let's Get It On. It's not going to happen. And you're not going to hear Let's Get It On and go, oh my God, that was Ed Sheeran. No, it's not going to happen. So, yeah. That's what the songwriters are working with, folks. Any key, you got 4 chords. And that's why Ed Sheeran himself says, I can play any song in 4 chords. And that's what he said. And pretty much any song. We're not going to say any song because we got some progressive stuff out there that it goes way outside this box. But yeah, 99% of what you hear you can play with 4 chords. If someone originally wrote it in E and you play it in D because you can sing it better there, as long as you keep that progression the same as it was here, when you move it, you're golden. You know it's going to sound a little higher, a little lower, depending on what you choose to do, what key you decide to take it to, but you're still going to be following the same rules when you move it. So anyway, folks, hope that adds a little insight into what songwriters are up against and the challenge of being creative without getting your pants sewed off. Because one thing I have heard about being a songwriter is if you write a hit song, a song that becomes popular, you're probably going to get sued. And I just think that sucks. And everyone else should think that sucks too, because there's room in this for everyone, man. Yeah, to end off his video, I'm going to go with a little story from my childhood, as I said. And basically, we were on the river. I growed up as a river rat here in rural Indiana. And we dug mussel shells out of the river when I was a kid to use for bait to catch fish. And guy comes down the river in a boat, and he's sitting on a whole boatload of mussel shells, and we're needing some bait. And my dad says, hey, can you tell us where we might get a few mussel shells? This guy's sitting on a whole boatload. His boat's about to sink, so full of mussel shells. And he says, no, can't help you, can't tell you where he's at. My dad just looks down, mutters under his breath, and says, that's what's the matter with this world. Too many hogs and not enough corn. And damned if that ain't the truth, folks. There's too many hogs and not enough corn. And that just says a mouthful. There's room in this for everybody, folks. But if there's a buck to be made, there's somebody out to take it from your pocket. And that's just sad, and it does hamper creativity, and that's my 2 cents. So if you're still here with me at the end of this rant, thanks for watching, and I hope you tune in again later. I got some more stuff coming up on the channel. I plan on doing some more cover songs, some original songs I've written, and a lot of lessons and stuff. So I've got plans for the channel. I'm just trying to basically learn how to set up all the audio equipment and get some good recording quality. So bear with me, folks, and I'll be putting more stuff on. So I'll see y'all later, and thanks for watching. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe, thumb up, all that good stuff, and I'll see y'all later.